Okay, so for today's video, I want to look at the topic of fact, opinion, and bias. And we're actually going to start by having a bit of a look at these assessment objectives from City and Guilds. And I'm going to look at level 1 and level 2. We're going to break those apart, have a think about what they mean, and then I'm going to be looking at how they might test this kind of skill at level 1 and at level 2. Now, fortunately, the method that you use to get these answers, the actual processes you're using, isn't that different between the levels. However, the way they ask the questions may well be. So if we have a look here at level 1, and this is from the reading scope of study, we can see here 11 deals with identifying meanings in text and distinguishing between fact and opinion. So at level 1, they're going to be asking you things like identify one fact and one opinion from this section of the text, for instance. Okay? They don't necessarily expect you to deal so much with bias at level 1. However, obviously, someone's opinion absolutely filters into bias. So it's still a good idea to watch this video because, of course, understanding bias is going to help you identify opinions. And it's going to get you starting to think about how people get across their opinions. Because quite often, as we've looked at in the writing paper, we'll follow something like Peel, where we give an opinion and then we back it up with evidence. So it can help you when it comes to identifying where facts and where opinions might be. Level 2, they expect you to be able to identify levels of formality and bias, and they also expect you to be able to follow an argument and identify different points of view and distinguish fact from opinion. So again, they're expecting you to tell the difference between fact and opinion, but now we've got quite a bit in terms of argument here, so in terms of bias, someone's personal bias for or against something, and how they create that bias, what opinions they put down, and how they back up those opinions. So, let's have a quick look here at how this might be tested in level 1. So in level 1, you're likely to potentially get a question like this, and this is very straightforward. This is absolutely the kind of question you would get in level 1 reading. Identify one fact and one opinion in the features section of document 1. Now, the thing that I'd really like to draw everyone's attention to here, apart from the fact and opinion bit, is this, in the features section. And this is common across across level 1 and across level 2. A lot of these questions will ask you to get information from one specific part of the text. If you do not do this, you will lose marks. If you draw facts and opinions from anywhere outside the features section in this document, you will lose marks. Okay? So do make sure you read the entire question carefully. So, having a look here, we have a look at the features section, and we're looking here, remember, for facts and opinions. And one thing I'd really like to draw your attention to, we're going to come across in a second, is that these can occur in the same sentence. Okay? So, right from the start here, what are we looking at? Some of the items included in our fantastic package. So let's have a quick look here. Now, the thing about fact and opinion, and this is true across level 1 and level 2, is when it comes to opinion, you're looking for subjective words. If you read this entire text, it's talking about this fantastic package, everything it includes, and the price. Now, that word fantastic there is subjective. One person's idea of what is a fantastic deal is going to be different from another person's idea. If I'm coming to this with a view that I actually do want to buy this bike, I'm probably more likely to consider this as a fantastic package than someone who's just literally thumbing through this advert in a doctor's surgery. Okay? So we're looking for subjective words here. We're looking for words where if you sat down 10 different people, they might have a different take on what fantastic package, for instance, might be. So fantastic package, that could be one of our opinions. And it goes on the same basket and the beautiful umbrella. Now this is quite interesting in itself. If we have a look here at the adjective, and again, adjectives are always a good one to look for in terms of opinion. Okay? So we've got the adjective here, beautiful umbrella. Now beautiful again is subjective. My idea of beauty would be very different from somebody else's, would be different from somebody else's. So we could say beautiful umbrella, again, is an opinion we could draw out here. However, the fact that the package includes, can include a basket and an umbrella would be a fact, but without those subjective words. Different colour schemes available. Now, a fact is something we can measure. Okay? So a fact can be measured. And proven is proven. If I go into this shop and I can see an array of different bikes in different colours, then I know that this is true, and we're accepting anything they tell us that is a fact is true here, by the way, guys. We're not sort of getting into, maybe they're lying about the different colour schemes. We're accepting that is true. So fact here would be the different colour scheme. It comes in different colours. And again, we've got here the freezer unit has glass lids. And again, that's something we could check out. We could look at the bike and see it's got glass lids. So again, another fact here. And it's saying here, all this to 2,495 quid plus VAT, a sensible price you can afford. Now this is an interesting sentence because it contains both fact and opinion. So have a look at that highlighted sentence at the end of the features of the ice cream bike section. Pause the video and see if you can identify the fact here and the opinion. Okay, so the fact is the cost. There's no getting around that. That's the price of it. That's what I have to pay for it. The opinion is that it's a sensible price that I can afford. That is subjective. Now, if we have a look at how this is tested at level 2, things get a little bit different. So again, we have got bias creeping. Now, bias is where someone is arguing from a point of view. They've got an opinion on this, an overall opinion on this, and they think that we need to be doing this, okay? Or that we should agree with them. So if we have a look here, it's asking us for 3 biased phrases from the You Will Love Your Bike section. And again, pay attention to the section you're asked to take from. So if we go down here, that's this section here. You will love your new bike. Tell you what, pause the video and see whether you can identify 3. Okay, so we've got here, we could have, we don't think you'll even notice these. Could be an opinion, could be a biased statement. As could when you're soaring along on your new Greyhound bike. Because all of this is going back to their overall opinion that these bikes are brilliant. Okay? And it's a good idea to have an overview of the text because this very reason. It's good to be able to think about the entire text, not just a bit inside the section. And think, okay, so what are they trying to do here? Obviously, we're only taking stuff from this section though. You don't have to worry about anything. Again, that's quite biased, isn't it? That's a biased phrase there. And again, the more you learn about looking after your bike, the more confident you will feel riding it. Again, their bias is showing here. They think this bike is fantastic. They think it's a really easy ride. And they think that it's very easy to maintain because their instructions are fantastic, you know? So there we go. Another type of question they may ask to do with bias and fact and opinion involves following this line of arguments here. So if we have a look here, we're actually given, in this style of question, the argument itself. So Suki Tanaka, who wrote this first document, we can infer, you know, they've inferred here for us that she struggles to meet her resolution goals. And what we need to do here is we need to work out things that she says which back this idea up, that sort of support this argument that she's struggling here. And again, fairly straightforward. We go through and we just read and we look for things that are suggesting that this is the case. So for instance, we could have least of all me. The entire topic of this, and if you're following along, this is the resolutions one. The entire topic here is people struggling with resolutions, specifically her, and why they struggle. And yeah, that's it. She's saying, least of all me, I'm not that surprised that people give up on the resolutions. Again, you could have here, what's the reason? Science has shed so much needing light on how to stick to your resolutions could be a good one as well, because obviously she needs that light because she struggles. And of course, another way they may choose to sort of present this is very similar to level 1. They may just straight out ask you 3 words or phrases here that are opinions, or 3 words or phrases that are facts, in this case opinions. And again, from the first paragraph of document 1, and again, very similar here, we go through and we look for these. We look for where an opinion is stated. And again, news that surprises no one could be one. That's somebody's opinion. That's her opinion. I might be surprised by it, or I might not care. You know? And again, disappointing statistic. Again, this is an opinion. In her opinion, it's disappointing that so many people give up on the New Year's resolutions. For somebody who sells gym memberships, they probably think that's fantastic. They love this statistic because it means they get plenty of repeat customers. And again, but there's good news. That is an opinion. It is her opinion that this is good news. So, just to sort of go over again, for advice that is specific for both levels, you've got to read the question carefully. It might tell you just to be using a small section of the text. You need to read through the section given and quote carefully, because sometimes, as you've seen, a sentence can contain a fact and an opinion, for instance, and you only quote what you need. And for level 2, of course, you need to be following that line of argument. In the case we just looked at, that this woman is struggling with her resolution, so you need to be able to follow that line of argument through that paragraph. So there you go, fact, opinion, and bias.